I went to school just to please my dad. Developed some anger as aftermath. I fell off the course while you wait for a Porsche. I'm coming in late off a helipad. I ain't got that money, my nose always running. Yo, what is going on, guys? I am here with Peppers from Cypherkicks. Yo, Peppers.
Hey guys, how's everyone?
So, this is a pretty big moment for me. This is my first interview, and I couldn't be more happy to have you here. So, just thank you so much for spending the time and coming out.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. I really like your channel and what you're doing. So, let's get it started.
Appreciate it, man. So, before we jump right in, do you want to shout out your team members and just kind of say, like what each of them do?
For sure. Yeah, definitely. That's really nice of you to ask. So in the team, it's basically me, Peppers. I am the founders of Cypherkicks. Everything started with me. He was just one guy in the team. But the demand for Cypherkicks and for this project has grown a lot over the past 6 months. And we've had to grow our team, which I'm very, very, very happy about. So in the team, there's me, founder, illustrator, community manager. I'm the one that's always on Discord talking to the community. We've got Alessandra. She's an illustrator. She's from Venezuela. She goes from Spain to Venezuela. Normally, she was living in Spain last year, but this year she moved back with family. We're hoping that she can come visit us in the United States. She's a very good friend of my family. We got Nico as well. He's an excellent illustrator, and we got someone new who is actually a 3D artist and an animator for the team. Now, the community hasn't seen anything from her yet, but I'm working very hard with her on some new projects related to Cypherkicks, and I couldn't be more excited about working with her. She's amazing. I'm super excited about working with her, and like the amount of value that she's going to bring into this project is going to be enormous. Like I think Cypherkicks will be is one project now, and it will feel like a whole different project when you guys start seeing what she's able to do. And we also have an artist. His name is David. He's not Doc, so I don't want to talk too much about him. But he's basically the brains behind Cypherkick Studios for the most part. So when you see like zombie art that looks like a comic book style, that's him. He has amazing value for the Cypherkicks team, and yeah, that's the team. We also have a few community people who are part of the team, mostly on the community management side, like Andy, like Dan Bleeds, Cal, Gmurf, Persuade. We got some good people in the community that are helping a lot with the Discord, organizing things like the poker tournament that's coming up. That's from Illuminati. And there's also the developer, which is Mermaida. They're the ones that we work together with for basically everything that we do. We've worked with BuffyBot a few times in the past, but 90% of the time is Mermaida.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm also happy to hear that the team is, so big. There's a lot of projects that try to do it, one guy at a time, and I'm just like, man, that's got to be so hard. Um,
Yeah, that's a really good point, man. I don't know how like people do that. I guess when you start, that's something that you might have to do. When I started the project, it was just me. For the first, I'd say like for the first 1 to 2 months, it was just me. But I suddenly like I realized like I cannot do this alone. It's way too much. Like I cannot be on the Discord talking about the project on Twitter, doing spaces, networking, talking to other creators. I cannot do every all of that while at the same time working on the artwork. So thankfully, I found really talented people who've been there for me every step of the way. And the days that I'm not sleeping at night, they're also not sleeping and working hard
yeah.
to get it done, man.
That's awesome. So you actually came from a sneaker background, right?
Well, I'm a sneakerhead myself. Like I collect sneakers. I've never actually like been in the business side of it. I don't like selling them that much. Like when I buy them, even if I buy them like as an investment, I eventually like just keep them.
Yeah.
But my family, they used to own a clothing and apparel factory uh, back when during my childhood. So I grew up around clothing items, like how they manufacture them, how, buying fabrics, negotiating with suppliers.
Okay.
Like I was very involved even as a kid in the whole I was around my parents when they were doing those things. They would take me to the factory and I would see like the employees work on everything. So I know how like clothes are made from like the ground up, and I know about quality of fabrics. I know about all of those things that I'm hoping I can bring into the Cypherkicks project over the long term.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So did you want to touch on your life a little bit before Cypherkicks?
Yeah, I'm actually a industrial engineering student. This is actually my last semester. I'm not going
Nice.
to go too much into detail about, places and things like that. But yeah, this is actually my last semester. I'm graduating as an industrial engineer. Uh, I have some experience, done some internships. Uh, it's not related in any way to computer science or software development. So that's why that's why I have a developer working with us and in the team, which is Freddy from Mermeda. But yeah, that's basically me, man. Right now, focusing a little bit on my studies at the same time. While I'm managing Cypherkicks, but this is the last semester. I'm almost done.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. You're almost
Thank
there.
you, appreciate it. Yeah, almost there, man.
So, what made you get into NFTs? Did you start with investing in crypto at all first? Like, did you know about Cardano? Like, how did all that happen?
So it's a really cool. It's actually really interesting because I've done illustrations in the past. I actually like my first CNFT project was a really small, tiny project called Space Invader, and there's actually like 18 of them around, and people like still trade them. Even people who are not like part of my community, like they trade them for like thousands of ADA.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, it is, and that's how I got started with this, like in CNFTs. But in terms of crypto, like I started investing in crypto like in 2012, 2013, I think, Bitcoin
Dang.
era. Yeah, yeah. I was younger, but obviously, but I was like, I was young. I was like under 21 years old
Right.
back then, and yeah, I got into it. I read about Bitcoin back then, like the cypherpunks. That's actually why Cypherkick is like that's where we bring the name Cypher.
Okay.
So yeah, so from the cypherpunks era, you know, reading what it was all about, what people thought the future of currency would be in the future, and what I still hope it is one day. Like I consider myself a cypherpunk. I'm not in this space just to make money. I'm like I actually believe in it, and I believe in Charles Hoskinson, what he preaches, and I believe in Cardano. But yeah, I started with Bitcoin, bought some Bitcoin, lost the Bitcoin. uh, you know how it happens to a lot of people. I think I bought under like $10, $15.
Oh.
I just know it was so cheap back then, and I did it through like I actually had to like message people on Skype. I think it was the guy that sold it to me, if I recall correctly. I think it was a Russian guy on Skype that I didn't even know. I think Skype doesn't even exist anymore. It's now all Microsoft Teams. But yeah, basically you just like ask them where you're going to send the money, and he sends you the Bitcoin to your wallet. Basically, it's how it worked. But you
Oh.
had to trust him. It was insane. There were no exchanges.
Wow.
But yeah, I got into it. Then a lot of people told me that it was a bad idea, that I was like throwing money away, that it was never gonna take off. So I stopped like caring about it. I eventually like sold my laptop to someone else, and I lost all the keys. So
Oh.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I tried to find the laptop. Believe me. Uh, but that experience, like, it felt bad initially because I felt like I could have made a lot of money. So I stopped like caring about crypto a little bit for a few years. During my study years, starting college and everything, I was focusing on that mostly. But then I started to invest a little bit more on stocks. And from stocks, I decided to, this is too slow for me. This is too slow. I'm young. I feel like I should be investing a little bit more aggressively. So I decided to get back to Bitcoin. And when I like started to read more about what was around and talking to friends who recommended me some blockchains, one of them talked to me about Cardano, Hoskinson, and what he's trying to do with blockchain technology in Africa, which is when I discovered about these smart contracts and what they can do, what's DeFi, and why Cardano is better in terms of DeFi than other blockchains, and what it can bring to the space, what it can do for humanity. So I'm very passionate about that stuff now. And when I was investing on Cardano, I didn't know anything about like the Cardano community. I just bought Cardano and held Cardano, like I think most people actually do. Um, I through Reddit and doing some stuff, talking to people about Cardano, learning more about the space, I discovered Ergo, which is some people call it like a sister or a brother project to Cardano. And I was very active in the Ergo community. They preach the same principles: decentralization, smart contract technology, DeFi. They care about the community. It's not about making money. It's about building something that will hopefully outlast us. Um, I started creating some NFTs on Ergo just for fun. Some of them sold for a good amount, but it wasn't like really. It wasn't like crazy art. It was like mostly small illustrations. Uh, they sold. I got a lot of support from the community, and this guy from the Ergo community called Fo, he's the creator of Ergnomes on Ergo. He did a collaboration with Dead Pixels, and I was like, oh, interesting that I didn't know like there were NFTs on Cardano because I knew there were in smart contracts in Cardano, and I wasn't that into Cardano. I just bought it as an investment. So when I learned about it, I decided to release some NFTs on Cardano. That's when I did Space Invaders. We only sold them on Discord because back then there were like no CNFT.io. That was pre-marketplace era. So yeah, I started Space Invader collection, very small collection, just one NFT per week or so. It took time to make those NFTs. Um, so it was just usually like one or two per week. And the Hoskinson community was like amazing, man. That community was huge back in the day. They still are. They have like a very good following, especially on Twitter. They have more followers than us even. But back then, the Hoskinsons, like Charles Hoskinson, was like his profile picture was a Hoskinson's NFT. I think that's the only NFT he's ever had as a profile picture. So Hoskinson's OGs from like the CNFT space are coming up with a new collection, by the way. So shout out to them. And they were like my first home in CNFTs. Like I talked to the owners and they told them like, hey guys, like I created these illustrations. I want to sell these NFTs, on auctions in your Discord. And they were super cool to me, man. Like they allowed me to do that in their own communities. And that's where I started like getting a little bit of a following and people who believed and loved my art. Because all my life, like I love to draw and do illustrations, but I'm more of a minimalist illustrations kind of guy. I don't go into too much detail on stuff, even though Cypherkicks is a very detailed oriented uh, art like collection. My real artwork is more minimalist. So that was mostly what Space Invaders showed. Um, After that, I decided to like I learned more about NFTs. I learned more about like the Hoskinsons, projects like Clay, projects like Spacebots, and I understood like, oh, there's a space for small scale NFT projects like Space Invader, but Space Invader is very like it takes a lot of work, and there's so much you have to do to create like a big collection of this artwork. Let me think about something new that I can start again might gather some interest from the CNFT community. So I started thinking, should we do a PFP? There's too many. Should we do like animals? Oh no, there's space bots. So I decided to do something that I'm passionate about, and that's sneakers. Like I love sneakers, sneaker culture. I'm a high beast myself, man, and I thought, okay, let's do some sneaker related NFTs. Then I drew like I had some drawings from sneakers from back in the day, like even before I knew NFTs existed, and I took some of those and decided to do some like a fun twist and a fun like signature for the collection. That's where I came up with the legs with the bone, which in my opinion is something that makes the artwork different than any other sneaker NFT. Because usually sneaker NFTs are like just 3D images or 2D sneakers with like no legs, or if they have the legs, they like leave the frame. And I didn't want the legs to actually leave the frame of the artwork. So I decided to go with this idea, and yeah, I mean, people loved it from the start. And the first people who supported the project were people who follow Space Invaders, so they were the OGs of the OGs.
Dang.
Slowly, people started to like discover these NFTs because like I posted them on Ergo, I posted them on Twitter, and like suddenly people that were like DMing me to buy like directly from me, they didn't even want to pay like marketplaces, they wanted to buy directly from me. So the first 100 NFTs we sold them directly to people, and then from then on we did drops, like classic minting drops.
Wow. That is so you actually started out creating your small what was it, Space Invaders?
Yeah,
And you got shouted out by Hoskinsons, and that's kind of what drove this into Cypherkicks.
yeah. The Hoskinson community were really really helpful when I started this collection because they knew me. So most of the people who collected Cypherkicks initially were from the Hoskinson community, and they were looking like for things to invest on. And I remember back then, like some of these NFTs, I sold them for like 40 ADA, 60, 80. I think the most expensive one was like 400 ADA. There was just one that we sold for like I said like I don't want to sell the like the hashtag the one the 0001 Cypherkicks. I don't want to sell it because it's my favorite one. So I'm gonna put it for sale because it's the open and honest thing to do. I'm gonna give it like a crazy price, man. I'm gonna make it 1,000 ADA, something no one will pay. And like 2 days after I started the collection, man, with no marketing, no influencers shilling me or anything. Just 2 days after, one guy DM'd me, hey, I won number one. I was like, are you sure it's 1,000 ADA? And he was like, yes, I won it. I was like, holy.
That's insane. That's
Yeah,
so
I couldn't
awesome.
believe it, man. Yeah, probably the happiest day of my NFT career when that guy DM'd me to an NFT from me for 1,000 ADA. That feels so reassuring, man. Like, oh my
Right.
God, like people I don't know have this level of trust on my work. And
Yeah.
that's important for a new creator.
Oh, 100%. That is amazing. So how would you describe Cypherkicks maybe to somebody who has no idea?
So it started as a small collection, and the focus was the art, and it's still the artwork. If you like sneakers, if you like collecting things, then Cypherkicks is perfect for you. Um, I'd say the committee now has taken the number one place for me in terms of what's the best thing about Cypherkicks. They're awesome, man. Like the community is so special. Everyone there is so welcoming. They love talking sneakers. They love talking to new members of the community, welcoming them. They're always giving like NFTs away for free to the community. So in my opinion, the community is number one right now, and will continue to be so. But the artwork is really nice. I really love what we've done. The variety of like NFTs. It's not like your usual PFP project where every single NFT looks the same. Just with some different accessories. No, Cypherkicks, like every single Cypherkicks, like it's unique in its own way and different. And if you really like shoes and sneakers and fashion, then this is the perfect collection for you. We're focusing right now in the CNFT space, but slowly we're going to move our efforts towards bringing people from outside the CNFT space into Cypherkicks. So that's why we have partnerships with like real stores. Like for example, the first one that we announced is Legends Boutique in Orlando, Florida. So if you have Cypherkicks and you go to Orlando and to that store, a physical store, you actually get discounts for your purchase just because you own Cypherkicks. This is something that we're pursuing worldwide, but initially starting with the United States. But there's so many perks to owning Cypherkicks. Like for example, and we can talk about this later. There's this new collection called Hypebeasts that we're releasing. It's going to be a 5,000 NFT collection, 100% new, not even similar to Cypherkicks, PFP style NFTs. That's going to be, man, like insane. I
Yeah,
can
I
tell
am.
you that
Oh,
that from now it's going to be like the craziest collection on Cardano. My goal with this collection, and I tell everyone, like, my goal is going for that number one spot. Like, space spots, we're looking at you, man. Like, just to give you an example, and this is something that someone asked me, like, how long does it take to create like a PFP or like an NFT collection? I tell them, like, if you're doing this fast, you can create something in like 2 or 3 weeks, man. Like, just one item from the collection, just one random item. Not even talking like a unique, crazy item that's going to be like rare or anything. Just 3 days of designing between several designers, one item. That's why we've been taking, like, it's taking us months on a hype piece. Like, the goal is to release the collection Q1. So hopefully in 1 to 2 months we'll do the airdrop. But there's so much work going into it, and it's going to be free for every single Cypherkicks collector. So that's the funny thing. I'm not even gonna make money from the drop. I'm gonna lose money because I have to pay for minting, I have to pay the developer fees, I have to pay transaction fees. But it's something that I promised my community from the get-go. So I'm following my roadmap. This is the next thing on the roadmap. Hype is going to be crazy. Uh, Community's gonna love it. The CNFT space is gonna go crazy when they see them, man. So much work going into it, and it's gonna pay off.
I'm super excited about Hypebeasts. Like, I had to work really hard to find other questions to ask you because like 90% of my questions were all Hypebeasts. But but I know that, not everybody knows exactly who Cypherkicks are, so we gotta cover that too. But Cypherkicks they were originally called Dead Kicks, right?
So the hype beasts were actually called dead kicks before. Sorry if that's confusing. So when we released Cypherkicks by season 3, people were talking about like utility this, utility that, and we had some ideas. But we created like a white paper, and the white paper, I promised my community I'm gonna release a new collection of 5,000 NFTs because that's how many Cypherkicks there are. There's only 5,000, and I'm gonna give them to you for free. And we're excited, and I decided to call the collection Dead Kicks. I wanted to take, and this is more like a marketing discussion. I wanted to do like a dark, twisted take on Cypherkicks NFTs. And Cypherkicks are awesome. I love the art. It's my life right now, man. And the community loves it. But I don't want to inflate the market with way too many new Cypherkicks, even if they're like dark Cypherkicks. And we've seen this with like other projects. I'm not gonna name names, but there's projects like they release 10,000 NFTs for their main collection. They sell well, they're doing great, and then like 3 or 4 months later, they release like dark something.
I know.
And
Man.
then you inflate the market with 10 new thousand NFTs that are very similar to the other ones. You end up with like your OG collection losing value because there's like one more per each NFT that you released before. So with Hypebeast, we're gonna do a 36, man. Like, we're gonna go back, rewrite, like redesign everything, do everything new from scratch. We're not gonna reuse anything from Cypherkicks. Everything's gonna be 100% new. It's not even gonna be like related to sneakers. It's going to be 100% different.
That's awesome. Now, the Cypherkicks are 5,000 because the original collection is 5,000. But you actually broke down the seasons into 5 different seasons and released them slowly. Was 5,000 the number that you kind of had in your head from the get-go, and you were like, we're just going to break this up?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question. When I started and I released the first 50 NFTs, which are from the preseason, people start asking me like, "Hey, Peppers, how many Cypherkicks are there gonna be? Are you gonna release like 5,000 or 10,000?" And back then, a lot of people were like, "Oh, do 5,000, do 5,000," because 10,000 is too much, and we want the collection to be very exclusive. So I went with what the community wanted. So we did 5,000. I'm glad that we did 5,000. I think 10,000 would have been way too much. It keeps the collection very small. And I mean, as you can see, like if you go to JPEG, if you go to CNFT, if you go to OpenCNFT.io, you can actually see like how many Cypherkicks are listed, and it's under 5%. So
Yeah.
I think we hit it in the nail with like in terms of like supply. I think it's a good number. Uh, the idea was to release it by seasons, like a little bit longer, like 500 NFTs every season. But every single like first season, 350 NFTs broke the website. The website just didn't work. We have to like, thankfully the developer fixed it like in 2 minutes, and we were back at it, and we sold everything in like seconds. Second drop, again broke the website, and developer is a wizard, so he fixed the thing in like 5-10 minutes. Back at it, sold everything in seconds.
Nice.
Third drop, dude. Third drop, we only did 1,500 NFTs. We had over 4,000 people in line waiting to buy. So we saw from season two, season three, and an incredible growth in terms of what the collection was becoming, and the community that was growing around it, and we knew that, man. Like we cannot keep releasing 500 NFTs if we're gonna have 4,000 people. It's not fair for the community. They're gonna lose like half their day trying to mint something that they will most likely not get. And we decided to, let's shorten it by, instead of like 10 13 seasons, let's bring it down to 5, and do two big drops for season 3 and season 4, and then a small drop only for holders for season 5. And season 5 sold like right away as well, and it was only 540 NFTs. If you go to JPEG, I think as of yesterday there were like 2 season 5 Cypherkicks listed for sale.
Man,
That just goes to show like how good of a community we have, how much they value their own Cypherkicks, that they don't want to sell them. Like they'd rather keep them. Many people in their community are like very excited about Hypebeasts as well. Like they're not selling, man. Like they wanna get those like 15, 20 airdrop Hypebeasts, or like 5 if they have 5 Cypherkicks. So they're very excited about that, and they know what they own. They know that if they sell a Cypherkicks for 100 ADA, they're not just selling a Cypherkicks for 100 ADA. They're selling the Cypherkicks, and they're selling their Hypebeast as well. And they don't even know what Hypebeast they're gonna get. They could very easily get a Hypebeast that's worth a lot of ADA, and they let it go because they couldn't hold for 1 month, more month. But yeah.
yeah, that's insane. And you wanted to go with the highest quality airdrop that you could ever think of, which is why you were talking about how long it takes just for like every single item, like just individual items in the drop. So, do you actually see it being maybe more valuable than the kicks themselves?
That's a very good question, and the beauty of it is that I have no say over it, man. I did my best work for Cypherkicks. Like I left my soul, my body, and my sanity on Cypherkicks. I did everything I could to make it the best possible collection, which is what I do for everything. Like every single collab that we do, everything that I do, I try to do the best thing that I can possibly do. I don't even announce like dates or anything before I know that the collection is done and that I'm satisfied with how everything looks. So for Hypebeast, I'm doing everything I can to make it like the best collection in the CNFT space. I want this to be a new chance for a community to hold something that it's extremely valuable. Like they already have Cypherkicks. There's like 5% listed. The floor is rapidly rising, so I'm very happy for them about that. But I had to like take a few days to think about what Hypebeast would be. And a lot of creators, when they're giving something away for free, they might consider like, I'm just gonna do this in like 2-3 weeks, pay my team for 2-3 weeks work, and just release a quick collection. And I understand that a lot of people, like I don't want to say like most creators would do it. A lot of people would do that because you're giving it away for free. With Hypebeast, I had to sit down and think like, what am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna actually like have to, know, keep my team working on this thing for like months. How can we make it worth it for us? And so we found a way, and we can talk about that later. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing, what I've been successful with, and it's giving everything my all. Like my best effort is going to go into Hypebeast. I'm not gonna be lazy about it. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm gonna do like my best to make sure that it's an awesome collection. So if the community decides to like hold these Hypebeasts and not sell them, because they're gonna be airdrop, it's not gonna be a drop. Like you can don't come to the Cypherkicks community or server and ask, hey, when can we buy Hypebeast? No, buy a Cypherkicks. That's your key. That's your token. Get a Hypebeast NFT. So if my community doesn't want to sell them, dude, what can I tell you? The price is gonna be high, you know. Now, if
Yeah.
they want to sell them, it's up to them. I'm not gonna tell them what to do. Like I never do. I don't tell them like, no, go buy or go sell. Like it's up to them, you know. If they hold the NFTs, they're theirs. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So will the and I don't know if you can say this yet, but will they also be able to be used in a metaverse similar to what you're planning on doing with your shoes?
So we have the team to make it happen. Um, I've been talking to a few projects about it, and they're open to having like whole new characters that like people can use. So we'll work on it. With these projects, we need to know their specifications. Like, obviously, doing like an item in a game is easier than doing a whole character. So we'll talk to them, see requirements for doing this. Thankfully, we have like the connections, so it's something that is very possible. It will also depend on the community. Like if it's something that the community really wants, then I'm sure that we can make it happen. We have 3D artists in the team, so it's 100% possible. But it's not on the roadmap yet. I don't promise things that are not either ready or that I 100% know they're gonna happen.
Okay. And with these hype beasts, they're going to be customizable, correct?
Yeah, so that's something very interesting. We're trying to. This is something that when I tweet about like the next generation of NFTs, I'm referring to Hypebeasts, because Hypebeast will be customizable, and there's a lot of projects that do things like this in other blockchains. In Cardano, there's a few that are trying to like do something very similar. It's like, oh, you hold this character NFT. I'm gonna sell this new collection. You can like if you get like one NFT, you can add it to your old NFT and like customize it. But we're not limiting ourselves to that. We're going to open like the first full-fledged marketplace of items for your NFTs. It's going to be for Hypebeast only. So the way it's gonna work is imagine like a Call of Duty store or a Fortnite store or something like that. Go in there and you can see like maybe a jacket, maybe a cool like astronaut suit, maybe like sunglasses, hats, helmets, masks, something crazy that you really like. You can actually like buy it, customize your Cypherkicks with that item. I'm sorry, your Hypebeast with that item. So it's going to be super cool. I can't wait to like show you guys how that's gonna look like. But we're working very hard on that as well. I think it's going to be one of the most unique features and utilities for one collection.
That's awesome. So on the same, I guess, like token of creating and editing your NFTs, you also have hype boxes. Do you want to speak on hype boxes, and is there going to be a cutoff date to where the hype boxes are no longer usable?
So for the cutoff date, yes, but we'll announce it. We'll announce that way ahead of time, like months before, so people can like be ready for that and can submit the request for customizing their Cypherkicks. So Hypebox is basically a version one, like even like a 0.1 version of what Hypebeast will be in terms of like customization. With Hypeboxes, if you own a Hypebox, you can go and see the metadata, and it will tell you like socks, bases, um, midsoles for like the shoes, the Cypherkicks. You can go and submit a request on Discord, and we'll customize your Cypherkicks with the contents of the hype box, like red laces or blue laces or like thunder soles or lava soles or like socks on fire. Then we'll customize your Cypherkicks with those items. But it's a very manual process. Like we receive the request, and we talk to our team actually has to work on it manually. Which, by the way, I think it gives these new customized Cypherkicks a lot of value because they're like manually done by professional artists from my team, for specifically for them, and it's 100% free. So this was a very cool proof of concept. We wanted to know if there was interest from the community in customizing their NFTs instead of just going out and building like a whole complicated website, and like a whole new system from the ground up, which takes a lot of time and resources. We decided to do this in a more manual process. So there's only like 500 high boxes, actually to be exact, 500, and a lot of people have actually submitted a request, and they're loving customization. I think a lot of people are waiting to like They want to see like more customized Cypherkicks and see which items they like the most to decide. So they're holding up a little bit. But we've received like over 60, 70 requests so far. There's a lot of people already receiving their customized Cypherkicks. I'm very excited about them. Some of them really look amazing. So yeah, we're using this tool to understand demand for this feature, which turned out to be even better than what we expected. Like some high boxes sold for 3,000, 4,000 ADA, just one single high box. Unique ones that we design manual like by hand, but nonetheless, it's a high box, and the demand has been great, and that's what we're basing on the decision to create this marketplace of items for Hypebeast. So your Hypebeast, like they don't have to be the same than the one that you receive actually. Like say it's Christmas, you don't have to buy a Christmas Hypebeast. You can just customize it with Christmas items from the store. If it's if we do a collaboration with a new project for Hypebeast, we're not gonna release new Hypebeast. We're gonna release items from that collaboration. So say we collab with like all projects that we've collabed in the past. Call them Dead Pixels, call them Hoskinsons, call them um, the Baby Aliens or any other project from Cardano that we've collabed in the past. Just to name a few. Instead of like releasing a whole new collection or a whole new drop, what we're going to do is release those items for the Hypebeast in the marketplace. That way you can just go and like grab, I don't know, the Pixels sunglasses or the Hoskinson skin color or the Baby Aliens hat or like little clothes and stuff. It's gonna be awesome, man. Like it's gonna open so many doors for us to doing collaborations with other projects, not having to deal with like huge drops that can be stressful and complicated, and people are gonna be angry, like, oh no, I couldn't like mean this project, and I really wanted like a high beast X Hoskinson, it's gonna be way easier for them. They can just go to the website and basically customize their Cypherkicks with the new items that we release every few days.
So will the items have a limit on them, or will they be unlimited as long as it's during that time period?
So we want to do these by rarities, and I don't want to talk too much about this yet. But like for a super common one, like let's call it a red hoodie or a black leather jacket. If it's common, then it's most likely going to have a very large supply, and we'll like tell the community about the supply as well. If it's a collaboration with another project, they might want to limit that because imagine if we collab with like Pixel, for example, when we do like a Pixel helmet or something like that, and then you're gonna have the issue of like maybe AF says telling me like, hey Peppers, maybe let's keep it like at 100 because I don't want like the whole Hypebeast collection to have like pixel heads. So we have to be very careful about that stuff. There's some other items that we'll release with time, like super cool legendary items that we will probably put a limit on them, so not everyone has them. We don't want the whole collection to look the same. We want people to have very different and unique Hypebeasts.
So when you're buying them, though, will you know, like, hey, I'm buying a legendary right now for this amount of ADA, or will it be kind of like, a gumball machine?
Oh, you will know. You will know.
Okay. Okay. So I'm assuming the legendaries are going to be pretty expensive to buy then off of the website or the mint.
We'll try to keep the prices super, super fair. I'm thinking about the 10, 20 ADA for items. But we'll see. We'll see what the community thinks. Some of these ADA will also go to the community treasury that we want to fund. So if we charge like 5 ADA and like 1 ADA go to the treasury, it makes no sense. So it will most likely be around the 20, 10 ADA for items starting at that price.
Okay. Now, I know we spoke about the benefits of holding Cypherkicks gets you a hype beast, but what are some other benefits for holding Cypherkicks?
So other than the awesome, unique partnerships that we're doing with real life businesses, physical stores in the United States, we also are creating a something really a little bit separate from Cypherkicks, but it's basically going to be a real life business that will deal with real items like sneakers and things like that. And we'll use blockchain technology specifically from Cardano for that business. We're gonna grab a percentage of the profits from that business, use it to reward Cypherkicks holders, especially holders who are very active in the community, spreading the word, talking about Cypherkicks. They're the ones that are going to be receiving a lot of rewards from being holders and basically like shareholders in the Cypherkicks project. Metaverse is another big one that people will hold. Like just we already have a partnership with three metaverse projects, huge respected projects. None of that, oh, we're gonna release a metaverse project. No, projects that are like they've shown their metaverse already. They've shown what they're working on, or they have amazing teams that everyone trusts. So we're working with super cool metaverse projects, and one of the goals is to make Cypherkicks in-game items. And this is something that Charles Hoskinson was talking about recently. Someone asked him, like, Charles, what do you think a NFT project should be like if you release one? And he said, a good NFT project is one that doesn't need your team to survive over the long term. And that's true for Cypherkicks. If you own Cypherkicks, you not only own, the NFT and the artwork. Hopefully, and not hopefully, this is something that we're actually working, and that's why we have a 3D animator and a professional 3D artist in the team. You'll be able to actually grab those Cypherkicks that you own, say they're the max or something like that, something really cool. You can go into a metaverse project and put them on your character. Like you can wear them. But guess what? Not everyone can do that. Only you, because you own that NFT. Even if Cypherkick is gone in 10 years, if you go to one of these metaverse projects, and you play the game, you can actually still wear your Cypherkicks. You can trade them in Cypherkick stores, digital stores in the metaverse. We're working with these projects to make it happen. Very, very excited about that too.
Okay, and is there any royalties that holders receive, like monthly or anything like that, or every quarter?
So for the one regarding the physical business, there will be quarterly, and it will be directly from the sales of physical items from the business. So we're trying to really build a huge company that will come from like the blockchain space, but that will be a bridge between the physical fashion world and the metaverse, basically. And we want to do this in Cardano.
Okay, so the money made from the website, some of that will go to the holders, but the aftermarket sales from the Cypherkicks will go towards development.
So yes, so there's two things. For the physical company, like the real business side, we'll use parts of the profit to reward holders for supporting the business, in a sense, for supporting the Cypherkicks project, because none of this would be possible without them. So we want to make sure, like, if we're eating, they're eating as well. The money made from royalties, a portion of the royalties, a portion of collabs and things like that, is going to go to the community treasury. So the community treasury is something really interesting. It's going to be some sort of DAO. We're waiting for the technology to be there, like multi-sig wallets, before we call this a DAO, because obviously it's not one yet. There's no DAOs in Cardano. We want to use this community treasury to give the opportunity to the community to come up with ideas, proposals, and ways to bring more value to the project. It can be through marketing. It can be through, like, if we have, for example, 20,000 ADA in the community treasury, someone can come and say, like, oh, no, I really like this new project. Like, for example, we recently collabed with Disco Solaris, and they created like 6 Cypherkicks with their own style. It was a success. Like, Disco Solaris got a really good boost from that collaboration with us. But maybe someone can come up and say, hey, Disco Solaris, what if we pay you 20,000 ADA and you create 5,000 Disco Solaris X Cypherkicks NFTs, and you give them to every single holder for free. Now, if they actually want to do that, then they submit the vote. They propose the idea to their team. If their team agrees, then they can do that, and my holders receive one new NFT for free. So that's just one of the big ideas that people have come up with, and they're interested in doing in the future. There's around 1,500 ADA right now in the community treasury, but we literally just started, and that money comes from percentage of the sales from the Disco Solaris collaboration. So we're gonna keep pouring money into it from collabs. Like we have the baby alien drop tomorrow. This video will probably be here after that, but a portion of the profits from that collaboration is also going towards the community treasury, which I think is going to be around 2,000 to 3,000 ADA. So the community is not having to pay for this community treasury. They're not having to buy NFTs for the community treasury to receive ADA. Uh, I'm not asking for donations from the community. I'm looking for creative ways of funding this community treasury or actual collabs and drops and things like that. And their community is gonna have total control over what's done with that with those ADA. So if they want to use it for like investing, for example, holding like buying 5 space bots, for example, so to sell them later on for a profit and use the money, they can do that. It's going to be a real community treasury, and the whole idea is for it to like support Cypherkicks and bringing innovation to the community and keep everyone more active. But I'm hands off of that in terms of like voting and things like that. I can tell people my opinion. If they really want to do something with the ADA, they can do it. If they want to buy a billboard in Times Square, it's up to them, man.
That would be awesome.
Uh, yeah, it would be.
So for your shoes, you're actually turning these shoes into real versions of these shoes. Are you doing that for all of these pairs?
So are you talking about like the physical company?
Yes.
So the physical company will have like several products. The first one is not going to be that. That's going where you're talking about is mostly like we'll have like a division of customized sneakers, which is like grabbing Air Jordan 5s or Air Jordan 4s or ones, GCs, things like that, and customizing them, changing the color of the soles, adding new laces, making changes to restitching the whole shoe, doing crazy stuff to them and selling them with an NFT attached to them that proves authenticity and ownership of the actual sneakers. That's something that's coming this year. The first product that we're going to release in the Cypherkick Supply business company, Cypherkick Supply is the name of the actual company. It's going to be something 100% different. We haven't announced that, but we're heavily working on it. It's going to be really cool. I think it's going to change the way um, a lot of people see NFTs in the Cardano space. So when I tell you, man, that we're innovating in different spaces, we're not just talking like, oh, Hypebeast is going to be 100% like different than other collections. It's going to be amazing utility. It's going to have its own marketplace for items to customize them. We're also talking like about these new things that we're working on the Cypherkick supply company side that are going to be incredible. I really don't know uh, how to describe them because I cannot say yet what they are. But we'll be announcing them very soon.
So you say you're going to be having shoes created, but then you're also going to be selling the NFT with them?
So that's going to be for the customized cipher key, like for the customized sneakers. We're gonna grab like real shoes made by Nike, by Air Jordans, GCs, things like that. We're going to customize those shoes. We're going to release them for sale for the community and on the online store, so people will be able to buy them. When they buy the shoes, they will receive a NFT that will serve as a proof of ownership and authentication. So the sneakers are going to actually have like an NFC tag inside of them that you can scan with your phone. When you scan that NFC tag, it's going to take you to a website. In the website, you can actually read information about the shoes, when they were created, by who they were created, like the details of the customization, like what parts were customized by the Cypherkicks company, and it will tell you like the policy ID of the NFT that goes with that shoe. And it will tell you the asset ID or the fingerprint, so you can actually make sure that the NFT that goes with the shoe is actually legit and they're the same number. So you can actually make sure that they are authentic and not like a counterfeit or something like that.
That's incredible because everybody knows with like designer clothes or shoes, it's really hard to tell the fakes from the real ones. So that's actually really, really cool.
Yeah, it's getting harder with time, and we've actually talked to a few stores in the United States who are very interested in using this technology that we're going to develop to apply it to their own products. So we'll be working to bring this technology to third party companies. But initially will be something that will be like first party only for Cypherkicks. Eventually, we're going to work with other companies to offer this product, and hopefully, it will be on Cardano. So, it's a way of also spreading, utility of the Cardano blockchain in real businesses in, worldwide.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to wrap it up somewhat soon. It's been almost an hour, but did you want to talk about kind of the legality behind everything and how you're avoiding those legal issues?
Of course, yeah. So it's a good question. In terms of the artwork, everything is modified in a way. So the designs of the sneakers, we use no logos, no trademarks. We make sure that we change the design of the shoes, but you can see that they're inspired by real shoes, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's artwork. We've had no issues so far, and we don't expect any issues. We've talked to with counsel ourselves legally, and we're sure there's not going to be any problems in the future. Um, in terms of the business side, customizing sneakers is 100% legal. A lot of companies do this. It's a big industry in the United States, and you have a lot of people doing this on Instagram, small Instagram businesses. But we want to be like one of the big customizers of sneakers in the United States. We want to be like the hope for 2023 is to be releasing around 200 to 300 customized sneakers per month. That will bring the sales to like a really good number in which like actual collectors of Cypherkicks will actually be rewarded handsomely for owning their Cypherkicks.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to say about the project before we wrap up?
Yeah, buy Cypherkicks, guys. If you really want to get some Hypebeast and be part of the community, have some fun with us. Make sure you do it as soon as you can. The community is quickly realizing about what they have. Like the floor price, for example, just went up like 3x over the past month. I don't like to talk too much about pricing and floor and things like that. But I'm very proud about the community and what they're doing with the project, how the amount of support that we have from them, and this is proof that they actually value and love what we're doing, what we're working on. Just to give you another example, there's about 60 legendary Cypherkicks. There's only two for sale. The 60, only two. Like
Oh,
if you want to be part of that legendary club, only two guys selling. Another one that's funny, the signature zombie Cypherkicks, like the ones with blood on top and stuff like that. There's only about like 30 from like 500 for sale. So yeah, these are getting bought really quickly. So if you want to be part of the project, if you want to be here with us, have fun, you're more than welcome. And yeah, I think we really cover most of what Cypherkicks is about. But if you want more information, you can always go to cypherkicks.com/whitepaper3 and read everything in more detail, understand what we're working on, who we're working on, and what's coming in the future.
thank you so much for your time and for making Cypherkicks. Like I am a huge fan, so this means the world to me. And yeah, man, just thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for the interview, man. Wish you the best.
Thanks, man.
A good one.
I get it like a G, but it never came easy. You got me coughing up a lung, I wish I rap like Wheezy. I keep my pace, so I'm sorry that I'm breezy. Keep my sneaks laced, cause I can't afford Yeezys. I don't want the gold, give me BTC. Y'all be acting crazy.